Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James, and this evening I'll be reviewing the 2018 film The Witch in the Window, which was directed by Andy Mitten, I believe. Excuse that this video is a little bit dark. I'm actually taking this video in the sauna. I have a load of Christmas presents downstairs. I'm on the bottom level of my house, which is storage, utility room and sauna. Didn't want to climb over all the presents, so I'm just doing the review here. Anyway, the film. So this is basically just a haunted house movie. We follow, there's a family. So yeah, it's very much of a focused family dynamic film. So we have a family where the mother and father split up, and the son is having some problems. Latest thing that he's being on the internet and seen something. She's not saying what he's seen, but it's pretty bad. We find out it's actually very bad. He saw someone being killed on there, but that comes into the film later. But he's having some time away from the city to be with his dad. He's actually just bought a new house that he's flipping. Well, going to be trying to flip. So it's a do it up and sell it on for some money. So, as I said, it's all about the family dynamic. So we just follow these two. Basically for quite a while we follow the father and the son, and their dynamic of their relationship evolving and changing. And that's kind of how it goes for a large chunk of the movie, probably like the first hour. And considering this is like a 77-minute film, it's a bit too long, to be honest. Now, I'm very, very happy with slow burn films, but for a horror film to have no real horror in, it's not good. It's not good enough for what it's trying to be. I mean, the horror does come. How it comes about in bits and pieces. I might actually spoil a few bits on this, because trying to talk about a haunted house film with no spoilers is very, very difficult. So there will be a few spoilers in this. So there's a ghost in the house. There's a neighbour that comes around. He actually turns out to be an electrician, and he's working on the house. They bump into him. They don't know he's downstairs and scare the shit out of them. I suppose that's the first spooky part of the film. But he's explaining that, yeah, that the house is haunted, and they're like, okay, whatever. But yeah, as I said, so that they just keep working on the house, the father and the son, and then the first experience you get of the ghost, they're going out for pizza, and the son, he's frozen and stuck at top of the stairs, and he's beckoning his dad to come up, and he's like, there's someone there in the seat. And at the end of the hallway you can see like partial bit of a head, and you can see, what is that? Oh yeah. So there's a tapping noise. It's just an air filter. Yeah, they can see the top of a head of someone, and like the arm on the rest of a chair. And so the boy actually is the one that makes the first real move towards it. The dad's going on, and he stops, and the boy overtakes. And then they're looking at this woman, and he gets his phone out. I don't know why. This is the only kind of time you see anything like this. But he's looking through the phone, and it's just an empty chair. Obviously, when they're seeing, you can see the woman there, and she's not responding. And then they say her name, and she does that, eyes open quick, and chases them out of the house. And pretty tacky. Nothing really original there. And obviously they're very, very freaked out. They go for pizza, and then they go to the neighbour's house, and yeah, they go and they stay there. And then the next day the father sends the son back to the mother because he's like, oh, this is not good for my son to be in this house, obviously. But he goes back and he starts working on the house. Lo and behold, the boy turns up again. He's like, fuck. So they go in and they're just talking a lot about different things while they're working on the house. And then they're having a sit down. And the son's like just saying like how much basically he loves his dad and stuff like that. And the phone rings. And it's the mum. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I should have said how much is... what's the son's name? Alex or something? Like, how much has he said about the situation? She's like, what situation? It's like, about where he is in that. And she's like, what do you mean he's here? And he's like, what? And then he's like, put him on the phone, and he talks to his son. And then obviously he's talking to his son on the phone, and he's sat next to his son. And then, yeah, that's pretty freaky, that scene, actually. That's pretty good. And then it turns out it's like, shit, it's a ghost. And then she chases him out of the house. And then you kind of get this strange loop system, almost. So he runs out the house. He runs into his car, drives to a neighbour, and he's trying to get in. And then the neighbour comes out, and he's like, I need your help. He's like, I can't help you, because you're still in the house. You didn't leave. And he smashes his head over, smashes a bottle over his head. He wakes up, he's in the house. So he's like, shit, I've got to run out. So he like runs out the house, and he's forgotten the keys. And then just a few different loops go around of a few different things. He keeps going back inside the house. There's one where he's in the car, and he's like looking, he's banging on the window, and it's him banging on the window. And he's like, shit. But then he's sat in the car, and then the ghost is next to him, and he kind of flashes, and then he's actually the one in the house banging, not the one in the car. It's kind of a little bit reminds me of what's the Stephen King film? Is it 1408? The one in the hotel room. It's kind of like you're trying to get a grip on reality, and it's kind of a little bit like that, like a poor man's version of that, I suppose. The bit with the kid being the ghost, that was genuinely freaky. Kind of, there's a few bits, loops, like I said, like that, different things happening, like the ex-wife comes out, and it's obviously the ghost, but he kind of pretty much knows this, and they're discussing it's like, you need to stay in the house with me, and then everything's okay. Can't remember the exact details of that, because I watched this a while ago. I'm just reviewing it now, and unfortunately I didn't make any notes. But the gist of it is, the mother and the son come back to the house. It's like, you can take the house. They come back, and then the boy finds a small note that his dad's written to him. It's like, how you doing, buddy? All's good here. The house is good. I'm here in the house. I'll always be here in the house. So he's kind of like taking the role of the ghost woman that was in the house. And that's it. And it finishes. Oh, I mean, this is pretty low budget. It's the acting's okay. Script is okay. It's trying to be a little more heartfelt than actually comes across. I think when you're dealing with like a low budget, the acting can be a bit of a problem. It's like, I think the main guy is quite a good actor, but I don't know, there's something just not clicking with the film. We didn't really have great chemistry with the boy, and I don't think there's anything against those two actors. They just didn't, for me, I just wasn't particularly believable that much. It's pretty cool that it's basically contained horror. It's all in the house, more or less. There's some nice cinematography. It's like the film, there's nothing special with the cinematography. It's like, well, nothing new, nothing original. It's nice, slow panning shots, like back panning and things like that, and nice framing, but none of it's new. So, yeah, it's just like, there's no originalness to this film. And with the ghost, you don't know anything about the ghost, why it's trapped there. Yeah, nothing's really explored. There's far too much time on the father and son dynamic. And then suddenly they just throw some ghost bits in the end, and then the story finishes. But Yep, I think I'll give this one about a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's not one I'll revisit in any short period of time. I don't think I'll even bother buying this one because I really don't think I have any interest in seeing it again. But it wasn't a bad film. It's just like a one watch and done. So there we are. So that's the end of my review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.